Well, I'm in the middle of casting. I can't do that now. I'm in the middle of this because really directing theater was my primary focus. And finally, my brother takes my phone and goes beep 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 beep. It's ringing. Book the appointment. And so, had he not done that, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. I'd probably be in the middle of tech rehearsal somewhere. And that was about a little over 4 years ago, and I've been waited about 6 months for my audition. After I auditioned about 4 or 5 weeks, they called me in for specific shows and haven't looked back. In fact, I haven't directed anything on stage in about 2 years now, which is really kind of sad. So anyway, now I'm turning it over to you.
Good morning. I'm sorry I'm late. But I had to wait for my coffee to finish cooking, so I guess, hey, don't do that. I got my start in acting because of this guy. He was auditioning for a show, and at the time I decided when I grew up, I was going to be a gymnast. So I was doing flips in the parking lot of the theater he was auditioning at, and the director saw me and said, "We need that little kid to come audition." And my folks said, "No, that's just what he does." And so I did theater until I was about 17, and then I decided that was the age where I wanted to get in trouble and ride a skateboard and spray paint on things. And then I did a little bit more acting when I was in my 20s, and I worked with people like Monica Rial and Chris Patton and Carly Mosier in theater. And they were doing work for ADV, and through word of mouth, they were casting the movie Spriggan at the time. Wow, my voice sounds low in the morning. I like that. I sound like a guy. And they had given my name to Matt Greenfield and Stephen Foster, and they're like, "Hey, you need to call this guy who's in his 30s and sounds like he's 12. And at the time, I was working for a big evil law firm. I was an IT guy, and so I was just taking help desk calls at my desk. And it was like the order of messages were like, "Ayers, my PowerPoint won't work. Ayers, I can't do this." And then the third message was, "Oh my God, you sound just like a little child." Yeah, it was Steven. That's my impersonation, Stephen Foster. And for a second, I thought it was an attorney. I was like, "Who's that?" And I auditioned and didn't get in that show. In fact, I got mad. I got beaten out by a 10-year-old for the role of a 12-year-old. And then it was funny. I got cast in a little bitty role, and I was stoked. Like, if it would have ended with my little foul-mouthed kid in Steel Angel Karumi, I would have been happy. But then one thing led to another, and the next show they were auditioning with Sayuki. I know, I saw it. I see a roach, and I see a monkey, and they're all there. And then from that point on, it just became like show after show after show after show, and I never thought I would ever be acting for a living, but here I is. And I get to sit next to hot people like Jamie Markey and Miss Clarine Hart. But that's my story. It's old.
I am also a theater person. I, after high school, went to college, a Bachelor of Fine Arts from the University of Oklahoma, University. And then eventually moved to Texas. I was doing theater, a lot of Shakespeare. And then I switched and did a lot of really raunchy sketch comedy. And then was at a homeowners association meeting for a friend. And someone at the homeowners association meeting happened to work for Funimation. And they found out I was an actor, and they said, "Oh, you should come audition." And I said, "Oh, okay." So I came in, auditioned for a character called Motoko Minagawa from Fruits Basket. And then that's how I got into it. That's my little story.
And now we can't get rid of her.
That's true.
Yeah, I was not quite a theater person. I'd done a lot of theater in high school and college, but then of course I got distracted by life. I moved to New York and just was kind of, doing project management, which is what I normally do and what I do now during the day for Funimation. But one day I was at a bar, and I'd known somebody who worked at Funimation, and he and I were chit-chatting, and he decided to call me in. And he said, hey, you have a great voice. I'd really like you to audition for this role. I can't seem to find anybody within our current talent pool in this range. That was Justin Cook, and the audition was for Tweedledee and Kitty Grade. So I pretty much went in, and I thought I was doing my audition. I said, okay, what do I do? Do I need to slate my name? How does this work? And it's like, oh no, we're recording. Yes.
Yes, actually I was wondering, a lot of you said you had background in theater. How is being a theater actor compared to being a voice actor?
Oh wow, that's a great question that we don't get very often. I actually find, as an actor, voice acting to be a lot more liberating. Because let's face it, I am 5'4", and half of the characters I do are about 8.5 to 9 foot tall. It affords us an opportunity as actors to do the kinds of roles we would never in a million years get cast in on stage or in film. And there's an old saying with acting that, and I agree with it and don't agree with it, that as an actor you should be able to play any part. Yes, you should be able to. Will you? No. On stage and film? No. You are incredibly limited by so many things. Your look, your height, your build, your ethnicity. None of that matters. What matters in the booth is what you can do with your voice. I'm 5'4", can my voice be 8.5 foot tall? Sure. You know, can Kyle be 3'3"? Yes. That's the incredibly liberating thing, you know. I mean, that's where I find the real difference is because, to me, acting is acting. There are different technical skills you need for stage that you don't necessarily need for the booth, and there are different technical skills or booth skills that you develop that you never use. But I will tell you this as a director, as a stage director, and Greg phrased it really well. The voice actors that work for me on stage in terms of making emotional choices are the most phenomenal risk takers. They're fearless. And it's kind of like Greg said. Greg said, well, you know, when you've spent all morning fighting a 50-foot spider, you know, and battling to the death, you know, being asked to do this emotional scene when you actually have the other actors there with you is not nearly as hard as fighting that 50-foot spider.
It goes beyond, how would I feel if I was fighting a 50-foot spider?
Yeah.
I don't know what that 50-foot spider to feel. It's, how would I sound when I'm feeling what I feel when I'm fighting the 50-foot spider?
That's really good.
It's kind of another layer to it that is fun. How would I know? It's just for time.
My
I was just going to say, I think that being a theater actor helps, not always, because not every theater actor or every actor makes a good voice actor.
Right.
We've all seen that in some recent cartoons, and a voice actor is an actor first and foremost. The voice is secondary to the acting.
Voice acting.
And I think there are some things we use in the booth. I mean, I think most of us, when we're doing character, we move in the booth while keeping our heads in the same spot. But so that the physicality of the theater helps, because you can't make something come out of your voice if your body's not doing what it's supposed to do. Also, when I was in theater, I would adjust my voice according to the role that I was playing. I just felt that was part of becoming a character, is you need to sound like that character. So when I did my demo, or when I started getting into voiceover, it was natural to just do the same thing. And then what you were saying, in the theater, there are a lot of roles that I didn't get, where the director would come up to me and say, you were better than anybody else. We auditioned for the crazy girl who commits suicide. But we can't cast you because you look and sound too innocent. And that happened all the time. So, and that doesn't happen in voiceovers. That's nice.
You can be the crazy girl that kills yourself.
Yes. But there's a lot more roles you can play too, because you don't have to look like that part. You don't have to look like it. So it's awesome.